3 things a couple must do after a fight. Welcome to my channel. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Musarat Yusufali. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and I'm a marriage mender and relationship healer. Let's dive in. The first thing a couple must do after a relationship rupture, after a fight, after a struggle is they must repair. Repair must happen. Now, there will be perhaps one person in the relationship who really wants to talk things out really rapidly and quickly. They have a hard time sitting with their emotions and they want to get to the repair fast and furious. I'm going to ask that person to hold a little. The repair is going to happen and you might need to hold a little bit before the amygdala begins to be connected with the prefrontal cortex again, and you can have more wiser conversations and for the true repair to be happening. Another person in the relationship may not want to talk about things. Even after the fight is over, they may want to not go back. They don't want to rehash things. They feel more pain when they rediscuss. Perhaps they have their own inner insecurities that may be subconsciously coming out for them and they are not aware of it, don't know how to recognize it, don't know how to put words into it. However, for them, they want to be just done. Our fight is done. Okay, we figured out how to, solve this, or maybe they did and maybe they didn't. But the fight is over. Let's just move on. They want to rapidly move on quickly without spending too much time talking about what happened. For this person, I'm going to tell you, having a discussion, a repair after the fight is going to be really important. There is a difference about the discussions that you have when the amygdala is activated and the prefrontal cortex is not working and you're in the heat of the moment and you are perhaps going back and forth with each other, or perhaps you're shut down and not saying a whole lot. And so you need to go back and you need to use your words so that you can provide reassurance to your partner about what happened. So for you, I'm going to be asking you to engage more with your words, and I'm going to be asking you to be a little bit more forthcoming and making that repair happen. The repair is a conversation that you are having with each other about what happened. You are sharing perhaps an apology. If you have done something wrong, then you want to apologize. I'm sorry for raising my voice. I'm sorry for calling you, mean words. I'm sorry for, whatever wrong has been done. Both of you. No two people are angels, right? We tend to aggravate each other when it comes to fights. So we want to both apologize for what has happened. We want to discuss about what was it that was not there. We want to validate each other. If we weren't able to validate each other during a fight, we want to do that after. Repair is that time to validate and understand. Okay, in that moment I was really activated. I want to make sure that I understand you and that I have wholeheartedly understood you. So the person that does not like to talk a lot, I'm going to ask you to allow your partner to have their time with words. You can give them signals to take a break. I need a break. I need you to slow down. And you need to allow your partner to be able to share their innermost feelings and to be understood. And you want to convey that with your words that you have understood them. And then you want to switch sides and you want to be able to be heard also. You may not have as many words, and the person that is more vocal, that has more verbose and has more words, more emotions, more intensity, I want you to really listen to your partner and to be quiet and allow the person to speak at their own time. That might be sitting there in silence, perhaps holding their hand, placing your hands on their shoulders, their arms, their knees, however it is, giving them eye contact, gentle eye contact. I'm here for you. I'm going to wait as long as it takes for you to find your words. I'm going to be here as long as it takes for you to calm your nervous system and know that I am here to listen to you. Oftentimes, the verbose people, as soon as there's a silence, they think their partner doesn't want to say anything, so they'll jump in and fill it with words and their own emotions. I need you to hold back, and I need you to really deeply listen with your heart to what your partner needs to say. The second thing that is very important to do after a fight is to reevaluate. You want to discuss what went wrong? Was it just something that was out of the blue and we just need to kind of laugh about it and forgive each other and let it go? Is it one of those moments, gosh, I was hangry, and now that I look back at myself, I'm so silly. Why did I do that? I'm sorry. Can we let it go? Is it just something that was a blip, a moment in your life, and you can let it go? Or is there something that we need to discuss and plan for in the future so that this is not happening? Let's say every time you take a trip, you are getting into fights right before the trip. That means one or both of you have high stress levels. That could mean other things. That could mean that there is something that is not going so well in your dynamic. Now, trips are stressful moments, anyway, in general. And it's okay to be a little bit stressed and anxious. However, if that is causing intense disruptions in your relationship, this is the opportunity now to talk about how are you going to make changes to that? How are you going to change that dynamic, right? What do you need to do differently? What do each of you need to do to show up for the other so that this dynamic is not constantly happening? First thing that's going to be really important for you two to do as a couple is to reflect. Now, there's two types of reflections that I'm going to talk about here. There's an individual reflection, and then there's a joint reflection. Part of that joint reflection is that discussion that you're having of what do we need to do differently, right? What is going on here that we need to change our system about, right? There is something within our dynamic that isn't working. That's the reflection that you're doing as a couple. The second part of reflection that's also really important is your own reflection of your own self. Is there something happening inside of you? Is there something getting triggered inside of you that is outside of your couple dynamic? Or perhaps it's getting ignited because of your couple dynamic. However, is there something that you need to be doing to be holding that back? Maybe to be more vocal. Perhaps you are someone who is not saying things, and then you're building up and then you explode. Well, for you, it might be that you need to work on saying it the first time it happens, because clearly you're not letting it go. You're letting it build up and then it's coming out into a big explosion. So for you, I would ask you to think about, can you do something different, right? So have this internal dialogue with yourself, have a reflection. And it takes about 20 minutes on average, but it could be longer for people to regulate when they're in intense moments. And so perhaps during that 20 minutes, you might be taking that time to reflect on what is happening inside of me, what's going on, right? Taking that internal introspection. For others, it could be days after. It could be they need to simmer for a couple of days on what they're feeling and what's happening internally for them. So for that person, it may take some time before they're able to, again, show up differently in the relationship. So do you do these three things in your relationship when you've had a fight? Are these three things that you are committed to doing to better your relationship? If you are getting into trouble, even when trying to do these three things after a rupture in your relationship, then I'm going to say to you that it's time for you to get extra help. Don't shy away from getting extra help, because that can be what helps you two to stay together. I hope that you have found this helpful and useful. Please leave me questions if I can clarify something more, and be sure to sign up for my channel so that you can learn more about how to have better relationships in your marriage. Thank you so much, and ma'asalama.